in a talent-driven economy. Okay? When I mean talent, these are specialized knowledge bases which reside in people. And people are, companies are willing to pay to extract that knowledge and utilize that knowledge to develop products and services. So the unique selling point of the company is the human resources. Okay? The more the human resources equip themselves with current industry and future industry trends, latest technologies, advanced degrees, more creative, the more they have, the more they have created their space. Okay. So, with respect to that, I will touch some industries or technology trends that have been least affected. They have been affected, but these sectors or these technologies have been the least affected. Okay, and there's still growth taking place in these trends. These are trends and not predictions. Okay, so what I mean by that is they have been happening for 1 to 1.5 years, and they should continue to about 2025, 2027. Okay, so we will talk about the job prospects and the growth of these trends. Okay. So the current scenario of the industry is that everybody's affected. Okay, all industries, all businesses are affected, but not all roles are affected. This is the key word. Okay? So how to make that role, how to create our own space, if nobody else can sit on our chairs. Okay, that also something we'll talk about also.
Person who is presenting this is not visible. We can't see him.
Yeah, I'm doing only an audio right now.
Can you come on the screen so that whatever you speak, we can follow? Like this, we cannot follow what you are speaking.
Yeah. Bhai?
So it is very much visible. We are on the first slide, emerging trends in IT 2020 and beyond.
Okay.
Right, Samir bhai?
Right. So what is the current?
Some of the brothers, if you, just a minute. Some of the brothers, if you stop your video, then it will be helpful, because video takes lots of bandwidth, because of which rest of the processing goes slow.
Yeah.
So otherwise, we have moved to the next slide, industry demand. Right, Samir bhai?
You're right. We have moved to that.
Yeah. So it's very much visible. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so we are on the second slide now. What is the industry looking for in the people? Okay. What kind of personality traits are in demand? Let's talk about qualitative factors first. Okay. So people are looking for skill. This is all self-explanatory. So skills that will add value, judgment, individual judgment and decision making, certifications and advanced degrees, complex problem solving capabilities and critical thinking. I think it's also self-explanatory. Everybody can understand these things. Okay. So let's move on to the industry trends. Okay. What are the top industry trends identified by the experts? All right. First thing is something called hyper automation. Hyper automation is an extension of robotic process automation. Robotic process automation has been around since 2000. Okay. And it is slowly evolving till about 2015. 2015, 16. After that, artificial intelligence and machine learning came into the picture, and it has drastically changed this technology. So what does RPA do? RPA is basically a technology that eliminates repetitive tasks in a department, an organization, or in a function. For example, you have a bank, and a bank, there are many processes in a bank. One of them is to sort of claims or checking cash balances, okay, or document management, right? So there are different kinds of people who are activating these processes, right? But when RPA comes into the picture, it is a robotic process automation. All right, there is a software that will eliminate human tasks, repetitive human tasks, and this tool will take care of a couple of processes. Well, that's been happening. So it deals with structured data. All right, so you have a check coming in, so it reads the number, it checks the balance, and a couple of other things. All right, it reads an insurance claim. All right, finds who this belongs to, and adds the premium and sends out a mailer that this is due. Okay, this is already happening. Okay, this is something that's not happening. Okay, but what's not happening is that, all right, RPA cannot deal with unstructured data. Okay? Unstructured data, RPA cannot handle. That is why they have come up with something called artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is embedded into an RPA tool, right? So what happens is, so you have an insurance policy, and then you need supporting documents. There are handwritten signatures, and there are handwritten things that go along with the supporting documents. So an RPA, which is a rule-based, yes and no, and all right. So whoa, the process cannot identify any unstructured data like sentences written by hand. All right. So that is why RPA and AI together is setting in the market. Now, what they're saying is that most office productivity will be completely commoditized within the next 5 years, right? So the growth rate for this industry is 20% annualized, right? So the growth rate for the tools embedding artificial intelligence and RPA, which is basically hyper automation, is going to grow 20% every year. So you can imagine the jobs that are going to come into this, okay? So the big problem with this is that there's going to be a couple of job losses in tier 3 functions of a company. Okay? So that's a problem for many people, right? So how does one protect himself and enhance your skills with RPA and artificial intelligence? So key skills that are required for RPA and artificial intelligence. Okay, hyper automation is about 4 years coding skills in Microsoft Java technologies, and you can read that. All right, 2 years with RPA tools, sound knowledge of scripting languages, XML, ML frameworks. Okay, so these are the key skills that are required here. Okay. Just an RPA, just having knowledge of RPA tool, it doesn't cut it. Okay, there are many cases where RPA people are being laid off. All right. So, like I said in the beginning, that we have to create our space. And how do you create your space? Is you imbibe new technologies, new skills, new traits into our role. The top hirers are IBM, CTS, Capgemini, okay, Accenture, Infosys, DXC, and you can see it. Okay. Everybody done with the screen? Can we move to the next screen? Steph? All right, we move to the next screen. Augmented reality and virtual reality. A big disruptor major technology disruptor, adding highest number of new jobs in IT. Okay, and it's still growing. Okay, so we know those headsets, for games people are using, virtual reality games, but it's not now just virtual reality games. You can wear these headsets and be inside a mall and get inside a shop inside that mall within your headset and try on shoes, clothes. Okay, you can wear a headset and get into a training session. You can wear a headset and get into a classroom. All right. So there's a huge number of openings here. The headset demand has grown by 165% by 2022. 1,400% increase in job opportunities in this space, surpassing blockchain engineers, which grew 2018-19 517%. 517%. There was a huge demand last year, blockchain engineers. But this year, 2020, blockchain demand has only gone up by 9%. Okay, it's just because blockchain is not spreading that fast. There are not big adoptions for this technology. There are major hurdles that are happening. Okay, so the highest growth in number of new jobs and new job applicants is in this sector, AR and VR technologies, right? So this industry is going to grow at a rate of 70% growth rate till 2025. Okay, so that is a big number, a big, huge number. Okay. So the key skills here are, you can read yourself. Go language, something new developed by Google. Java, C, C++, C#, 3D modeling and scanning, software design, computer vision, a minimum of 5 years programming experience. Okay.
Samir, can you open my this video, please? I can't see you actually. I can't see anybody.
This is without a video coverage. I request you not to disturb in between. There is a flow which is going on. It's a humble request.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the major hirings happening here these are Indian companies. The first 4 are Indian companies, Indian-based companies, based in Gurgaon, Bangalore, and Hyderabad. UDIS, Intellevita, QTech, Jugo. Okay, and the others are all international. Honeywell, IBM. Okay, huge hirings here, huge hirings. Okay, but you have to have the above skills to back it up. Okay, so the next technology we can talk about is something called edge computing. So the edge computing is basically an extension of the cloud. Okay, now what the cloud is basically doing is it's processing everything inside itself. Okay, you have the hardware is located with the client, and the cloud provider or the platform is providing the service. Okay? So this is basically how the model is working. But there are mission critical applications, okay? Very time sensitive applications, okay? Like in driverless cars. Okay? And there is a problem according to current research that there is something called a latency effect. The latency effect is the time spent from the cloud to the cloud device. So, to the, for example, the driverless car. Okay, there is a couple of seconds delay in the transfer, bandwidth issue, and a couple of other things. Okay, so what they're coming up with is called a local data hub. Okay, so if you have driverless cars in Bangalore, for example, so you would have a data hub, a sort of a complement to the cloud inside Bangalore, which will reduce or take care of the bandwidth issues. Okay? So the main driver of this is IoT, Internet of Things, AR, VR, Okay, so these are the main drivers. Okay. So everybody understand what edge computing is, basically? So not everything is going to be on the cloud. The cloud is going to be distributed. Okay. So this industry is set to grow by 2025. Okay. Huge growth. Okay. When we're talking about growth, we're talking about compounded annual growth rate. So the investment that the companies are going to make in 2020, it is going to be recovered by 2025. That is a great potential. Okay. All technology companies usually have negative cash flows, but these industries are coming on the positive cash flow side. Okay. This is a metric that they use to gauge the, how should I say, the health of a trend or a prediction. So how is the job scenario in this? It is going to grow by 45%. Okay. 45%, that's a big number, right? So if you have 100 people this year, you need 145 people next year with experience. So you can imagine that growth rate. Key skills that go here are C, C++, data exchange platforms, that is something called JSON, IP network protocols, RDBMS, authentication, other security protocols, system design, knowledge of ML platforms, okay, and mobile computing. Main hirers, Cisco, Clearblade, you can read that. Amazon is a big hirer here. Big. Okay. Early college graduates, MS guys, MTech guys, BS from good schools, BTech from good schools. They take them on board after 1.5 years in the course, 2 years in the course, and they train them. Amazon is really big in this. Okay. So next, try something called a distributed cloud. Okay. But this is an extension also of edge computing. This distributed cloud comes from is an extension of IoT basically. Okay. So basically, in the legacy cloud system, we have what we call, the software is provided, not the hardware. Okay. But in a distributed cloud platform, hardware, a combination of softwares are provided. Okay. So what is a distributed cloud? Okay, you have very mission critical industries like manufacturing. Okay, manufacturing is a very mission critical process oriented industry. Okay? They go for zero defect production processes, high quality assurance and testing. So they cannot afford, right, defects. So they have these fog devices, which are basically sensors, which transmitting data to a local hub for processing instead of the internet or basically the cloud. Okay, so they have a local data center or a local data hub, which is acting as a local cloud. Okay, and data is processed there and coming back to the sensor. The sensor is passing back that data to the database or the relevant stakeholder. Okay. So manufacturing is really driving this industry global. We are seeing a growth rate of 35% till 2025. Huge demand for cloud platform engineers. Huge demand. Okay. Main driver IoT. Key skills. CISSP certification, that is basically a security certification. They have to know how to develop security protocols within the platform and the device. Main hirers: Cisco, AT&T, Vodafone, Airtel, Fastwing, ABB, and Amazon. So you can see all the telcos, the telecom companies and telecom enablers are in this field. Just a quick question. Is my voice audible to everybody? Saif bhai?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
One more small question here. Can I proceed?
I'll take questions after presentation.
Okay.
Next trend that has a huge growth potential is cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. Okay. Artificial intelligence uses unstructured data to uncover patterns and threats. Okay. So what's happening is the hackers and these expert hackers, they are sending out Trojans and viruses that are not seen by what we call the traditional authentication-based softwares. Okay? So with artificial intelligence inside these tools, small deviations in the networks on small movements by in the movement of a virus potential threat can be detected, because now this is very mission critical and time sensitive. Okay, because all attacks, they happen randomly and suddenly, and they shut down systems, and sometimes all the data is lost. It's very mission critical. We expect a growth rate of 30% here. Huge shortage in this space. 200,000 vacancies in this space alone in the US. Now we're not talking about cybersecurity professionals. We're talking about cybersecurity plus artificial intelligence professionals here. Huge demand. Key skills: 2 years ML application development, Rust, Go, C++, Python, build intelligent APIs, network security protocols. Main hirers, all the social media companies. Amazon, IBM, Cisco, Apple, Cadence, Geo, even Geo is hiring here. Just started this year, this 2020. Okay. Remove the screen. Digital twins. What is a digital twin? Is basically a replica of a physical asset created in 3D. Where is it used? It is used in manufacturing. It is used in aerospace. It is used in simulation. Okay, so what does it do? You have created you have a physical asset in place, and then you have a 3D replica model of that device, and you have made it intelligent, talk to it, and to test it. Okay. For example, turbines, okay, or things inside the cockpit, okay, or defense, all the things in the defense industry. But simulation is a very big thing. So that's basically the definition. Main driver: IoT, industrial IoT, and connected devices. And we are seeing a 25% growth rate here, year on year. Okay, I will take about 25. But till 2025, you can see if somebody is invested in something in here. So in 2025, you will recover that investment. So these trends are not only talking in perspective of jobs. Okay, perhaps somebody can think of startups. Okay, because the demand is so great, the demand surpasses supply in huge numbers. Key skills: main hirers. There are other hirers also, but these are the major companies that are hiring for digital twins is going on. Trends in artificial intelligence. Now, before we get into the bullets, I'd like to say that there are three kinds of artificial intelligence. Something called weak artificial intelligence, general artificial intelligence, and strong artificial intelligence. We are right now in the weak artificial intelligence phase, okay, where artificial intelligence is used to recommend and to suggest. Okay, so if you type something, or then it will suggest some things. Okay? For example, Apple Siri or Alexa from Amazon. All right, they are suggesting and they are recommending. All right, this is the phase we are in right now. Weak AI, recommender systems. There's something called general AI. General AI is basically a machine that is mimicking human tasks. For example, cooking. Okay, now how good can a robot cook? Okay, it has not reached to perfection. So a lot of work is going on in general AI. Okay, but it has not reached perfection. Okay. Then there's something called strong AI, which mimics humans totally. Well, that's something that I don't think will happen anyways, but that's the definitions that's being described by the experts. So what is AI is going to do for us in the future? Cheaper healthcare. This is a huge topic. I mean, it's beyond the scope of this presentation. We get into each of these topics. If anybody wants to talk about it, we can talk about it offline. Advanced cyber security, democratic AI. Now, what democratic AI is basically called AI for everyone. AI for everyone. What does that mean? So, in the future, well, that's not the future. It's right now happening under us as we talk. People are developing AI systems which use a concept of low code or no code. Low code, LCNC. That's basically what it's called. No code, no code. So everybody is accessible, not accessible. Everybody can build their artificial intelligence tools. That's how easy it's going to become in the future. Okay? So companies such as H2O, iTrax, they are building modules and made it so user-friendly that you plug in a couple of modules, you have an AI tool in front of you. Okay. That's the future, basically. Next 5 years, by end of 2025, what H2O right now has a platform, and it is already supplying these modules. So, so probably in the next 2-3 years, it is going to become full blown. Advanced NLP, natural language processing, huge area of growth. Okay, handwritings, speeches, total social media texts, text mining, couple of things here, a lot of things, right? Which use unstructured data, right? Usually a machine cannot read handwritings. What those handwritings mean, right? Robotic chefs, right? So you have a robot cooking for you. We've got robots making tea, making omelets, making coffee, fixing an ice cream for you inside an ice cream vendor. Oh, these are already happening. Okay? Serving you at the table in a restaurant. I mean, we've seen that. Okay? So yeah, these are some of the trends that that I think are relevant, and from some experts also, these are trends that are relevant. Okay, coming back to why we get into this is because the industry is now looking for people. It's a talent-driven industry now. Okay? It's a talent-driven world economy, where talents are the key driver of your jobs. How much talent you have acquired, how much talent have you built. It's no more mundane, M-U-N-D-A-N-E, mundane tasks what people are looking for. People are looking for personalities where their employees are going to be creative. Think outside the box. Think in 3D, not 2D. Yes or no, this or that. Okay? Solutions that are not apparent to everybody. Very creative and critical thinking. Right? These people are not going to be most impacted. I have a friend who's in machine learning, right? And in his company, huge layoffs because of this COVID and recessions and all these things that are happening right now. I asked him, what is your position? He said, we are untouched because we are providing services that people would have to, the company would have to hire again, rehire people like us again. That will cost them twice, right? So they have created their space. This is what we need to do: build so much talent within us, that our spaces are protected. Okay, and there's upward mobility in our jobs, even in recessions. Like I said, all industries and businesses are affected, but not all roles are going to be affected. Okay. I have another friend, support engineer. These are some cases I picked up from people. L3, L4 support. Okay. Got another job offer. The company got to know about this. What are they offering? 3 times the current. So we will offer. It's 3 times, right? See? So why is that happening? They secured their spaces. And this is what we need to upskill, upgrade. These are things that we should really look into. One of the things to how we can do that is get into advanced degrees, laterally or horizontally. Okay, a vertical growth or a horizontal growth. New technologies, right? Or a horizontal growth, like an MBA, for example. So I'm assuming this audience is with an experience level to 5 to 10 years. This is my assumption of the audience that's listening to this presentation. Okay, that's how I've geared this. All right. So, what is upward mobility for us? How do we grow again? So, one of the options, and one of the best options is to advance our degrees, possibly by doing an MS, okay, or an MBA. MBA is also a very good option, but the Indian scenario is not very good. Okay? There's 5,500 5,500 business schools in India. That's a big number, right? 5,500. Big number. All right. Out of that, 7% of those people get employed. That's a very low number. Very low number. That's bad news. 97% of people get into sales and marketing, products and services. But what they really learn in MBA, they are not able to apply. So there's no value add in doing MBAs, okay, from tier 2 or tier 3 schools. Because when you go for an interview, there's 3 questions they're going to ask you. Where did you do your MBA? What is your work experience? And what are the courses you took in your specialization? What are the courses you have taken? Okay. So the Indian scenario is not very good. Okay. And how should we choose an MBA? We should have a framework within our mind, an ROI framework. Okay, so if my MBA costs, let's say 10 lakhs, how soon is that 10 lakhs recoverable? Accordingly, choose the school. Accordingly, choose the school. Just don't get into an MBA college just because it's offering MBA. Okay, right? And choose the best. For example, this year, IIM Bangalore. This is like yesterday's news. Okay. So the typical cost for an IIM Bangalore MBA or PGP program is about, I think, about 20 lakhs or something. Okay. 21 lakhs. Right? And the salaries cut off for the entry level positions for IIM is about 25 lakhs. So he's recovering, or she is recovering that cost within how many months? It takes a whole year or a year and a half to recover those costs. That's the type of thinking we should have when choosing an MBA. But in the US, in Europe, if you do it from the top schools, if you're investing $50,000 into your MBA, $50,000, $60,000 from a reputable school, top 15 school, business school, graduate program, MBA, okay, that delivers you, all right, about 110K first year salary. So what is the return here? You've recovered that in 6 months, 7 months. So my suggestion is to look forward in foreign schools. Okay. Costs are high, but there are advantages over there. The major specializations are cybersecurity, IoT, data analytics. The MBA in cybersecurity, MBA in IoT. Well, the first year, they will probably cover the basic MBA business kinds of courses. First 7 months or 8 months, that's what they cover. And the next 14 months, they will cover the specialization, all the major. Right? For in US, Europe, best options. Because of the MBA ROI framework, like I said, how soon will you recover your cost of doing an MBA? Okay. Because of the job prospects from best universities outside in the West is very good. Very good. Right? I have a friend who we took the GMAT together, right? And pretty well in his GMAT. Okay. Got into the Chicago, what is that? University of Chicago, Booth School of Business. And his first year salary was $200,000. That's the difference. And how much did he invest? What does the MBA cost? What does the MBA cost in the school? Chicago, University of Chicago? It's about $80,000, $75,000. That is covered in the first 6 months. Okay? That's why we should when we take an MBA, choose an MBA program, we should work out the ROI, return on investment. We should have the framework in our heads when choosing our colors. The best will give you the best prospects, all right? To choose for the best. And the biggest advantage 2020, 21, 22 for us is that there's no GMAT requirement this year. So top business schools. Right. So you need for example, you would need the highest score one can attain in the GMAT, Graduate Management Aptitude Test, is about 800. Right. The top 10 business schools in the world, or let's take in the US, require you anywhere from 700 to 730. Let's take it from 680 to 720. Stanford requires you, which is number 1, requires you 720. Stanford still requires GMAT, but there are other top 10 schools. Top 10 schools. All right. Well, some of them don't require GMAT this year because the student influx is very low. You know, everybody wants to stay home. So if you want to aim for an MBA, aim for 2021. January 2021. Inshallah, everything should be settled by then. Right? And many of these schools have incorporated distance learning or an online mode or a hybrid model. A hybrid model is basically a couple of weeks in the year you have to be in those countries, probably for a presentation or for some kind of orientation or you know, some internship, right? Okay. So let's look at those schools that are not requiring GMAT. Top 10 schools are not requiring GMAT. So these are the fees. Don't be surprised. Have an ROI framework in your mind. I know not everybody can afford these numbers, but there are some people, okay, who are investing 1 crore in apartments, flats, IT guys, 80 lakhs in land, all right? So there are people with money in my friends, my colleagues. I know somebody who's invested 1.1 crore in building. Another guy invested 80 lakhs, okay, in a flat. So people have money. So when we think about investment, we are thinking only about flats and buildings and land and stocks and mutual funds and investment in a company. But we're not thinking about investment in a degree. Okay? Investment in a degree is fast, is more and quickly returnable than an investment in a building. For example, okay, a friend I know, this is way back in 1999, my batchmates, I was in that batch. The starting salaries were 1 lakh per month. 1 lakh in those days, right? I'm going to talk about monetary benefits here because that's what entices people. Okay? So 1 lakh translates that to nearly 12 lakhs. CDC. Apart from that, because they equip you with such great skills that are never present in the Indian B schools, except top 10. I would only suggest top 11 or let's say top 12. Okay. Analytical skills. Okay. So if you get into consulting, part-time consulting, well, I used to do part-time consulting also. All right, and we were charging about $100 per hour, sitting in India. This is a long time ago. The rates have changed now. Okay. So $100 per hour That's, let's say you work on the weekends, 8 hours, 4 plus 4, so that's about $800. You $800 for 4 weeks is how much? Work the numbers. 3,200. 3,200 times 12 in dollars. Okay. Plus what you're earning. Now, if you are working in US and doing consulting, that's a different rate. All right. And you're just doing consulting, working 8 hours a day. I mean, that's unbelievable. You recover your cost of going to a top business school in the first 7 months. If somebody wants to talk in detail about this, I can talk offline. All right. So the top schools here are New York University, and they have a great program on data analytics. It's a 1-year program. Cost is $78,000. Right. Now the best thing about these colleges are that when you spend $78,000, all right, and you come out of college into a top 10 consulting firm of the world. Okay. All right. And you start drawing salaries of 100 or 100 between 100K and 120K. Okay, so that's unbelievable in India. So you have to look at from an ROI perspective. That's like, okay, $78,000. What am I going to do? I could buy an apartment, and that's the problem. I could buy land. So there has to be a paradigm shift in our thinking. Education is an investment, and it pays back faster. Okay. Kerala School of Management, 100,000. The higher the fees, the better the college. Okay, this is #1 school. Okay, this is #1 school for consulting and for marketing. #1 school in the US. Oxford, UK. #7 in Europe. That's big numbers. $70,000. I know a lot of people can afford this, but they don't think this as an investment. Right? Oxford has one of the highest numbers of Nobel Prize winners. Right? London School of Business, Carnegie Mellon. These are top schools that are not requiring GMAT this year. Unbelievable. You need 730 out of 800 to get into Kellogg. Really smart, really big brains get there. And there's also financial aid available. Okay, financial aid is available. Okay, once you get there, you can be a graduate assistant, a teaching assistant. All right. Couple of things you can do, but don't go for loans. They offer loans, but don't go for it. All right. Top online MBA programs. Johns Hopkins, #1 med school in US. St. Joseph. Okay, these are in dollars. You convert that, all right? You can do the numbers yourself. These are good schools, by the way. And you can do it in India. 1 year, 1.5 year programs. Warwick, University of Bradford, these are UK-based colleges. Top 10 in the in UK. Okay, that's it for me. I hope the presentation was beneficial, and I hope all you guys do your MBAs somewhere in US or in Europe. Thank you very much.
Samir, I have a question about the return on investments. As we were talking about the returns, but on an average, if a normal grad from any school from India visits US and starts working over there, so that's not
That's
actually
what.
practical. That's not actually possible. But if a normal grad, like for example, a engineering candidate from any of the school in India goes to US and starts working, so he will also get a salary of 90 to 80,000, 80 to $90,000 per year.
Once you
So how
graduate,
does the
once you
mm-hmm,
graduate from these schools, it happened to me.
mm-hmm,
So I was an Indian
uh-huh,
student. So it happened
mm-hmm,
to me. And it happened to both the Indian students, the Arab students that were in my college. So
mm-hmm.
it happens. It's a
Yeah, it
reality.
happens, but the situation of F1 OPT visa is not that great in USA because since last 2016, since the Trump government, like the Trump has become a president over there, so they have like they are not pretty much inclined towards the students who are on OPT visa. So there are many
Okay.
students, Indian students, coming back to India after completion of their courses, and at the end they have nothing. Like they start working with the same salaries that they used to do before.
Okay, that is an exceptional case. That's an exceptional case. That's politics also. But
Mm-hmm.
right now, as we speak, the reports what they're saying is there is a
Mm-hmm.
demand for foreign students. Like for example, Harvard is top three.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Harvard has is increased its intake for foreign students. Harvard is top three, by the way. Okay, UCLA, University of California at Los Angeles, and at
Mm-hmm.
Marshall, the two campuses, they have increased their intake for foreign students. So
Mm-hmm.
it's on the it depends on the college you're getting into. Okay, the job prospects depends. Like I said, the job prospects depends on the college you get from. Okay, those are other things are exceptional. This I'm talking in general on an average case.
Yeah, so the better case would be search for an on-site opportunity, search for an organization which can send you on-site and stay back there. Because
Oh yeah,
if you
great.
like
I mean,
uh,
if you can do that, then
on
great.
normally, yeah, because normally any organization will pay you around 1 lakh dollars, because that if you have experience of 4 to 5 years in any technology, irrespective of what you are doing there,
Yeah,
so they
but
are going to pay you a lakh dollars, 100K.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it depends, right? Yeah, you're right. But I'm talking about freshers here coming out of MBAs. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
depends which college you're entering. Okay? Starting salaries for people coming out of Harvard is over $150,000 with no experience.
Agreed, yeah.
Okay, and no experience. 5 years should give you more. Okay, and
Agreed.
people and colleges now that what they're looking into MBA programs, all of them. Okay, what they prefer is working professionals, people who have 3 to 5 years working experience. Okay, so they can add value to the teams and bring a better prospects in the curriculum. Okay, this is what they're looking for. International students, big time demand. I know people who are applying and they're getting, but because of this COVID situation, their things are on hold. But there are other online programs and distance MBA programs, okay, which you can sit here in India and do it. All right. Anybody else?
So Samir, there were a couple of questions which came into the chat box. So there's brother by name Mohammed Samir. Question to Samir by other Samir. So he's wanting to understand the scope of embedded systems. Would we want to shed some lights there?
Scope of embedded system is big time. IoT is a big player. distributed computing is big player. Digital twins is a big player. Okay, security for embedded systems is a big player. Major hirings are Samsung is a big hirer. Big hirer. You talk about artificial intelligence and security, or what are you talking about? It's embedded systems. The embedded systems is a big movement. It is here to stay. Nothing's going to happen in that space. Okay, but what we got to do is enhance our skills here. Okay, there's a big demand. For example, looking at some cases, Samsung is Samsung and what's the other company? I forget the name. Okay. In this, but for in the embedded systems and IoT, Internet of Things, okay, where you work on the firmware of the devices. Is that okay?
I hope that gives some insight about the embedded systems to the question raised by Muhammad Samir. And we have other brother by name Yasin. He's coming from accounting background and wanting to understand what is the scope that he carries.
Yeah, how much? I mean, how much experience and what does he do? It depends on the role that he's into. Okay.
Yeah, brother Yasin, you're there on a call. Do you want to put across your question?
What? How many years experience? What is the role?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I have total 7 years experience in complete accounting background.
Public accounting means you
End-to-end accounting. Yeah, end-to-end accounting.
Okay.
I have done MBA in finance and marketing. I mean, finance is major specialization. But currently, I have seen so many teams like robotics and these data analytics people are coming to our projects, and they are helping us for extraction of a huge data from SAP, doing modification in very quick time. So I have seen this helps a lot for accounting people, but I'm not sure how to get these courses to enable my current profile. It will help a lot for us.
Okay, there are courses that are offered, okay, by if you can explain to what kind of analytics they are doing. Is it prediction or is it optimization, or what kind of analytics they are using? It will be more helpful actually.
Macros also they are building, which is very useful for us, for our projects, for every entire accounting peoples.
Okay, so there is a course called Master of Accountancy that is offered by SPJ, and I think if you enroll in that, you have analytics with accounting scope inside that course. It's a one year course. So I think it's worthwhile to get into that. Like I said, we have to increase our talent. You know, redundancy is chubby, it's fat. Okay? That's a big problem. We have to enhance our skills. Yeah. So I would suggest that you get into an 8 months course or a 6 months course from good college.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Masters in accounting. It's a diploma course for accountants. So they cover analytics and they cover measures and they cover a lot of metrics. So that will help.
Okay.
Okay, we have other question from Brother Zaid. Brother Zaid, you want to put this question forward?
Yes, I wanted to put my question. I am a PMP certified and
PMP?
Yes, project management professional. So actually, I have healthcare experience. I have IT experience. Also, I have worked in Middle East. So recently, I'm going through these IoT, cloud, AWS courses, as well as there were some free certification courses by Oracle in this April, May. So what I know the theoretical as well as some of the practical nuances. But when it comes to experience, like if I'm also trying to work as a freelancer, or if I want to work as as a professional, because when we try to do anything, it becomes very difficult to convince the person. So how do we acquire this practical experience? I know AWS, I know Oracle also a little bit, but how do you develop unless and until you do practical work? It becomes very difficult to convince the end customer. Isn't it?
Have you done freelancing before?
I have done freelancing, but it's for training and a little bit of development.
Freelancing PMP for projects have you done?
Yeah, small, not big. It was mostly on like.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Let me put it another way. What kind of model are you using? Waterfall, agile. What kind of things are you using?
Mostly, I have used waterfall, but for small projects, I also use agile, like Scrum.
Scrum. Okay. Okay. This is a little bit of broad topic. If you can call me offline, I can sort of guide you a little bit more. Is that okay? You can take the number. I can sort of guide you a little bit more on how to enhance your skills. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you can take the number from Brother Talsif and we get offline and we can start discuss this. Okay. What are the areas you can focus on? All right.
That will be great. Okay.
Yeah. So in the interest of all participants' time, so we are leaving the email ID wherein you can drop in your queries, feedbacks, and comments. So, Brother Zaid, you can also drop in your questions there, and we will route that to Samir Bhai, and we'll get in touch with you off the line. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
I also have to rush. I mean, if there are any questions, I'll just take these.
Okay, I think the last update is that we have left the email ID in the chat window. Request all the participants to make a note of the email ID and drop in your questions, feedback, and comments. And we would like to be in touch with you even after this session also. Okay, we will have forthcoming sessions also. We can have you join those sessions as well.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh. Thanks a lot for this
Thank you.
great presentation.
Thanks all. Thanks for participating. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, this is Ashraf here.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.